Welcome students. Today we are starting a new chapter from geography. We have completed one chapter from history. Now we are studying geography chapter 1 resources. So what are we going to study in this video? We'll be focusing on three things. Number 1, resources. What is a resource? The definition of resource and on what basis and under what categories the resources are classified. Then we'll see what is resource development. Why do we need to develop resources? What is the need of resource development? And then finally we'll see resource planning, concept of resource planning. What are the stages of resource planning and how the resource planning is matched with the national development. All these things we'll cover in this video. So basically we'll start with what is a resource. It's very simple. Anything that is useful to us or can satisfy our needs is a resource. It's a very simple definition. Everything that you have with you or that is around you, which you are using for some or the other purpose, which is useful to you, use is a resource. Let's see the example. Trees. Are trees useful? Of course they are. If I ask you to make a list of the uses of the trees, you can make lots of uses. Fruits, shelter, bring rainfall, hold soil, provide oxygen, neutralize some other carbon dioxide like gases. So trees are immensely useful. Coal, it is just a piece of stone. Is it useful? We can't eat it. We can't use it to construct the house. But we use it to obtain heat, which is a very important source of energy even now. Water. It's needless to say what is the use of water. We cannot survive without water. You might have heard Jal hi Jeevan hai. So books, are they useful? Yes, they are useful. You may say that's an IT world where we have Amazon Kindle to read. We have YouTube. Of course, this Kindle, YouTube's such things are the resources. But books still have maintained their necessity. They are also very important even in today's life. Then soil. We can't survive without soil. Same is like water. So we can't survive without soil because soil gives us a platform for us to grow the crops. That is an essential part of a survival and existence. Pen again is a resource. Like a long list of things you can make, which you can term as a resource. Even your mobile phone is a resource. You are watching this video, your computer, your mobile phone, whatever it is, that is also a resource. You may be sitting in front of a cooler or AC or under a fan, that is also a resource. You may be having a carpet at your house, that is a resource. Chair, table you're sitting is a resource. There's an endless list that we can make, which we can term as resources. But remember, this is not the complete and all inclusive definition of resource. Still, there are some major dimensions that we must not forget when we are discussing or defining resources. Just keep this in your mind. Anything that is useful to us or satisfy our need is a resource provided. Basharte. What is the meaning of basharte? Say this word. The first line we have seen in the previous slide. If बशर्ते हर चीज जो कि हमारे आसपास के वातावरण में अवेलेबल है रिसोर्स हो सकती है अगर if that material matches with these three conditions. What are those three conditions? Technological accessibility, economic feasibility, and cultural acceptability. Let us see all these things one by one. Technologically accessible. What is meant by technologically accessible? Just we have discussed coal is a resource. Where is coal found? Inside the earth crust. And it's very deep. You cannot take spade or hoe, कोई कुदाल पावड़ा लेके. If you start digging the earth, you cannot reach up to the coal. You need machines to go to that depth. Do we have the machines to go to that depth? Yes, we do mining. When we go there, there is not enough oxygen. There is a very harmful conditions, harmful poisonous gases. Can we, our miners, protect themselves from these harmful things? Of course, we have such kits. We have some tools. Of course, it means we have resources to obtain coal. We have resources to obtain petroleum again from the earth crust. So these minerals are technologically accessible. We human force is not sufficient to extract them, but we have machines, we have technology to access them. So coal mineral is technologically accessible. Next condition, is it economically feasible? It means you need to spend some amount of money to obtain some resources. and then those resources benefit you. But the condition is, what is the benefit that you're getting from that resource? If you are spending 100 rupees to obtain some resources and the benefit is only of 80 rupees, your 20 rupees are wasted. So you won't extract those resources. Just for an example, you need electricity, okay, and you installed the solar panel. I'm using fake information now. Suppose solar panels need, whatever your house requirement is, it costs 1 crore. If you want to install solar panels at your house, it may cost 1 crore, and the company that is installing it says that those solar panels can be used for 1 year only. Solar panel can give you electricity. You have to spend 1 crore, but that will be useful only for 1 year. By the way, solar panel can be used for multiple years, 30-40 years can go, and they never cost 1 crore. Means depends. Normal we people, 1 or 2 lakhs would be enough for a normal houses. I just used imaginary figures to make you understand. How many of you will install the solar panels by investing 1 crore for 1 year? Much cheaper is the electricity that is coming to your house from the electricity board. In that case, solar panel won't be a resource for us. Okay, but now what happened really, if we install solar panel, what you pay to the electricity board in a year, solar panel cost you 2 years electricity bill, 2 to 3 years electricity bill, then 8 to 10 years will be free. So we use it because it is economically feasible, economically affordable. First condition clear, it should be technologically accessible. Second, economically feasible. That is, feasible means affordable. It should be economically affordable. So we have seen the two conditions. Let us go for the third condition. It should be culturally acceptable. It means society should not consider it using wrong. For example, suppose you want to cool your house. It's a summer season. It heats inside, so you have developed a new machine. AC is, maybe you don't want to use AC, so you designed your own machine, and that machine uses a certain chemical, and now your house is very cool from inside. But what gases that is coming out of that machine, cooling machine, which is going in the environment, is very poisonous gas. Will society allow you to use that? No, they won't allow you, because society doesn't permit. So that product, your product, won't be sold in the market. Even we'll take another example that is shown in this image. All of us human beings, some or the other time, we go in stress. We feel a kind of tension, maybe because of studies or work or relations. We go suffer through tensions. But some people, of course we should not, even I personally do not agree with them. Those people say that if we consume liquor, agar hum sharab pee le, if we consume the liquor, we can get rid of our stress, we can control our stress. They may be able to do that. I don't think this is the fact, but the society accept it. Can any person say to his son or daughter, but are you feeling so stressed, go and have some liquor? No. If you consume, a parent will not leave you, they'll beat you the hardest, because this is socially unacceptable. May be able to relieve the stress, but there are some better options to relieve the stress. This is the worst thing, society cannot agree. So this liquor cannot be a resource. I hope the definition is very clear now. So we'll move to the next slide and we'll lastly recall the definition. This is the definition: anything that is available in a surrounding and satisfy our need, provided basharte they should be technologically accessible, economically affordable, and culturally acceptable. Then only that thing, that material, can be termed as resource. Hope this definition is very clear now. Now let us move to the formation of resource, the two types of resources. There are basically, again deeper we'll go into that. Resources, there are two types: natural resource and man-made resource. What are the natural resources that you can see? Air we breathe in, water we take, and sunlight. All these things are the natural resources. Human being did not play any role in that. So in this chapter, we won't be considering those natural resources. Our focus will be on man-made resources. What are the man-made resources? For example, you have your phone. in front of you or your computer in front of you. Is it available naturally? No, it is manufactured in some companies. The fan above you, the bike or the car in front of you, the television set around you, all these things are manufactured. But these things are the resources. Even the clothes that you are wearing, they are that those clothes are also resources, but they are manufactured things. So forget about the natural resources. We will be dealing with them at some other time, some other chapter. Here our focus is man-made resources. It means human being make a resource. So when we make research, there is a combined efforts of the three agencies. Now those three agencies are very important. Can be asked for 3 marks or at least 1 mark for sure. That is developed by humans. Human being make those resources. Of course we need. Then we need something from nature. Suppose the clothes you are wearing, the cotton is obtained from nature. Bike you use, a car you use, steel, metal comes from nature. And you need to have a technology to do that. Okay, so this third point here tells you resource is the output of the interaction among the three agencies. Number one is nature, that is natural resources which you need to manufacture your resource. Second, institution. What is institution? Institution is nothing but a group of people who came together with a certain objective. For example, who was the founder of Apple? I forgot the name of that. Okay, we'll take Amazon. Jeff Bezos. He is a person who manufactured Amazon Kindle. Okay. Did he make by his own? No. He arranged everything. Then he invited talented people, the researchers and manufacturers and engineers and all those people together under his guidance, leadership, developed a new product that we call Amazon Kindle. So that is institution. Some people, some persons come together with a certain objective. That is institution. Even parliament is an institution, government is an institution, hospital is an institution, school is an institution, any government office is an institution. So we need combined and organized efforts, that is institution of human beings. And third, technology. All these three things together, if they come together, then only the man-made resources are made or manufactured. This animation will show you that. First, we need to make cloth or shirts or pants or whatever we can say. We need nature. Nature means we need cotton. Then we need some institution, organized group which came together. The group came together with certain objective, that is institution. Here I take an example of CRM. There are several companies in different fields working, and this CRM institution, the company uses several machines. Okay, and nature is a institution arranged natural resources. They organized machines, and the human beings and human skills are needed, and what comes out? Fabric, textile, that is a resource. So natural resources, keep them aside. Man-made resources are manufactured or made with the interaction between the nature, institution and technology. I hope this is also very clear. Let's move to the next slide. We'll see now second point that we have seen our pre-cap, classification of resources. Resources can be classified on the four bases. Number one, based on origin. मतलब resource बनते कैसे? On the basis of origin, resources can be biotic and unbiotic. Biotic resources are, sorry, abiotic, not unbiotic, abiotic. Resources that have life and resources that do not have life. Biotic resource. A cow is a biotic resource because cow gives you milk. Cow helps you in agriculture, and that cow has a life. That's a biotic resource. A biotic resource. The phone in your hand is a resource but doesn't have a life. It's a biotic resource. Next in, based on exhaustibility. Exhaustibility means कब वो खत्म हो जाएंगे. क्या वो खत्म होते हैं? When will those resources be exhausted? वो कब exhaust हो गए? Some resources are renewable resources. They never exhaust. वो कभी खत्म नहीं होते. For example, sunlight, wind, air. These resources are renewable resource or inexhaustible, non-exhaustible resource. Same under this category is non-renewable resource, the resources which cannot be renewed. For example, mineral resources cannot be renewed. Next category is resources based on status of development. मतलब हम उसको किस लेवल तक यूज कर सकते हैं. Then potential resource. What are the potential resource? These is a resource. These are the resources which we are not using. We can use. We know that these resources are there, but we are not using it for any reason. Reason can be anything. So resources that we may be able to use in future. Of course, we are able to use them now, but still we are not taking care of that. We will use it somewhere in future. Potential resource. Developed resource. All the resources that we are using now is a developed resource. And third category is stock. The resource. What is stock? Here the basic thing is, see, stock and potential resource is a one similarity. Both of them are not being used in the present time. पोटेंशियल भी हम आज यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं और स्टॉक भी हम आज यूज नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन पोटेंशियल यूज क्यों नहीं कर रहे, इसकी वजह कुछ भी हो सकती है, लेकिन अगर हम इसलिए रिसोर्सेज यूज नहीं कर रहे क्योंकि हमारे पास उन्हें यूज करने की टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है, देन इट इज अ स्टॉक. The stock which we are not using in the present time just because we do not have a technology to use that resource, that is stock. Negligence or the cheaper options are available, that's why we are not using them, they may go under potential. And final, resources based on ownership. Who owns those resources? Number one, individual resource. Your car, your house is an individual resource. Community resource. The road in front of your house is a community resource. The playground near your house where you go with your friends and play is a community resource. National, the resources that is owned by the government, and the international resource. We'll consider this all these resources in detail. So this graph is clear, this chart is clear now. Let's move to the next. So we have seen resources are classified on 4 bases. So one by one we'll see all these bases. The first, resources based on origin, that is biotic and abiotic. What is the biotic resource? Biotic resource means the resources that have life, or the resources that we have obtained from biosphere. What is biosphere? I would like to recall your previous knowledge. Study about hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is a domain of water. Lithosphere is a domain of land, and atmosphere is a domain of air. 3 domains you studied in 7th standard, where the hydrosphere, lithosphere and atmosphere all 3 interact. That narrow zone is known as biosphere, where the life exists. So these resources is obtained from that biosphere. That can be a difficult for few of you. So this is the easy definition to remember. Biotic resources have life in them, like flora, fauna, we discussed about cow, all these things. Abiotic resources, resources that do not have life in them, non-living things, simply non-living things, like rocks and minerals and phones and bikes and the pen, all these things come under abiotic resources. So based on origin we have seen. Now let's see next. Now we'll see resources based on exhaustibility. Okay, resource खत्म होते हैं या नहीं होते उस आधार पे. Renewable resource. Renewable resources are produced naturally or by humans. Either those nature produces those resources, for example, same sunlight, wind, animals, plants, or human beings can make them again and again. So these are renewable resources. We may be using some chemical or physical or mechanical process to use them to reproduce. That's still considered. मतलब रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्स या तो नेचर बनाता है तब भी रिन्यूएबल है, उसमें ह्यूमन बीइंग का कोई रोल नहीं है, ह्यूमन बीइंग के रोल के बिना ही नेचर उसको रिप्रोड्यूस करता है. दैट्स अ रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्स. बट देयर आर सम रिसोर्सेज व्हिच नेचर डज नॉट रिन्यू बाय इटसेल्फ, बट ह्यूमन बीइंग इफ वी पुट सम एफर्ट्स इट कैन बी रिन्यूड, देन ऑल्सो इट इज अ रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्स. अगर हम भी किसी चीज को रिन्यू कर लेते हैं तब भी रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्स है. एग्जाम्पल सोलर एनर्जी, water, forest and wildlife. And these renewable resources are never exhausted, वो कभी खत्म नहीं होते. So we also term them as inexhaustible resource, कभी ना खत्म होने वाले resource. Okay, that's right. Now move to the next one, that is non-renewable resource. The resource that once exhausted cannot be renewed again, or if it renews, that it take millions and millions of years to be formed. मतलब आज हमारे वर्ल्ड में जितना भी कोल है, जिस दिन हम वो सारा कोल खत्म कर लेंगे उसके बाद हमें कभी नहीं मिलेगा. ऑफ कोर्स कुछ बोलते हो कुछ करोड़ों साल बाद दोबारा बनेगा. Who says that? Will we be alive then? No, we won't be alive. Life would have been ended from the face of the earth, so we won't be able to use them. So in that case too, we will term it as non-renewable resource or exhaustible resource. Of course, this non-renewable resource may be recyclable, like steel. Steel, we can recycle it again and again. That is a different thing. Recyclability does not mean renewability. आप उसी चीज को बार बार यूज कर रहे हो तो अच्छी बात है, आप उसको रिसाइकल करके बार बार यूज कर रहे हो, लेकिन आप उसको रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं कर पा रहे. बी केयरफुल. सच अ ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड फॉर 1 mark. Renewable resource are different and recyclable resource still come under non-renewable resource. Here we are done with this. Let us move to the next resource based on status of development. I told you there are three subcategories. There are three subcategories under based on status of development. So here we won't follow the sequence. The sequence that these subcategories are produced. We'll first see developed resource. Every resource that is used in a country is a developed resource. So we know where that resource is in a country, what is the quantity of that resource, and what is the quality of this resource. We have every information about this resource, and we have started using it. We are using those resources in our day-to-day life. They are developed resource. जो हम आज इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं वो है developed resource. And the resources that we are not using, they may be potential resource or stock. Then don't be confused. Then when to call it potential and when to call it stock, there is a very clear cut rules for that. The resources that you are not using because you don't want to use now, because you have a cheaper option available. For example, solar wind, we'll take the example. You need to install a windmill and that may cost you lots of money, but the money and that electricity coming to your house from the electricity board is cheaper than the cost you need to invest to set up your wind farm. So better you'll avoid that your plan of installing your own windmill, rather you'll buy from the electricity board. So you're not using that potential because the cheaper option is available. Second, you don't have enough, you'll have lots of money and you're busy in some other work, you have some other businesses and you do not want to pay your attention to that side. That's another reason. So we are maybe negligence is the reason, or inattentiveness, or the cheaper option available. But if we try, we can use those resources. But possibly in future that ऑप्शन में बी प्रूवन चीपर, शायद नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ जाए, विंड मिल बनाना सस्ता हो जाए तो फिर हम देखेंगे उसको यूज करने के बारे में. लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी तो है, यूज नहीं कर रहे, वजह कुछ और है उसकी. टेक्नोलॉजी है, यूज भी कर सकते हैं, फिर भी हम ध्यान नहीं दे रहे. दैट इज पोटेंशियल resource. Then what is stock? Stock is a resource which you are not able to use because you do not have technology to use it. For example, हम क्या पानी पे गाड़ी चला सकते हैं? कहीं रिसर्च हो रहा है, आई थिंक होंडा ने गाड़ी भी बनाई थी, उसमें पानी डालो और पानी को ऑक्सीजन हाइड्रोजन के मॉलिक्यूल अलग करता था और हाइड्रोजन को यूज करके गाड़ी चलाता था. लेकिन अभी तक डू वी हैव सच अ कार इन द मार्केट? नो, वी डू नॉट हैव. अगर हमारे देश में कोई कोल खत्म हो जाए, पेट्रोल अगर बहुत महंगा हो जाए, तो क्या हम पानी से हाइड्रोजन निकाल के अपनी एनर्जी नीड्स पूरी कर सकते हैं? नहीं. बट वी नो दैट व्हाट इज वाटर. वाटर इज H2O, some molecule of hydrogen, some molecule of oxygen. So if we can separate the hydrogen can provide us heat and can meet our energy needs. But do we have the technology to do that? No, we do not have. सर लद्दाख में यूरेनियम का स्टॉक है हमारे पास, पर हम उसे यूज नहीं कर रहे, बिकॉज एक्सट्रैक्टिंग यूरेनियम from the earth is a very risky process. It's a radioactive material, and as of now we do not have that technology with us. So we know that in future whenever we will have technology we'll use it, but today we know but we can't use because we do not have technology to extract that. So this is a stock. Resources we are not using because we do not have technology, that is stock. But there is a one more subtopic in that, reserve. What is reserve? You may be having a technology बट यू वांट टू प्रिजर्व इट फॉर फ्यूचर. मतलब ये टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत कम अवेलेबल है अभी, बाहर से दूसरे देशों से हम खरीद के यूज कर सकते हैं तो कर लें, जब दूसरे देशों की खत्म हो जाएगी तब हमें इसे यूज करना होगा. मान के चलो इंडिया में आज भी पेट्रोल निकलता है पेट्रोल, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया is not using the full efforts to extract petroleum from India. Why? An example, this is not the reality. This is not the reality. Again, I'm just giving an example, because the cheaper petrol is available to us from other countries. We are buying from them. When the petrol will be expensive, then we'll use our petrol. This is not the real case. This hypothetical situation. I'm telling you to understand what is a resource. तो अगर आपके पास टेक्नोलॉजी हो भी लेकिन आप उसको जानबूझ के प्रिजर्व कर रहे हो फ्यूचर के लिए, देन ऑल्सो इट विल कम इन स्टॉक, देन इट वोंट गो टू पोटेंशियल रिसोर्स. अब ऐसा क्यों होता है? I'm just a teacher now. All the scientists and all decision makers, the administrator can tell this better. Okay, let's move to the next slide now. Now, resources based on ownership. Who owns the resource? You own your own resources, like your car, your house is an individual resource. You are the owner of it. Or maybe a small company. Your father have a partner in partnership as his own business, and that business has 2, 3, 4, 5 buses. So maybe 2, 3 individuals are the owners of it, but common people are not the owners. So this is an individual resource. Your house is an individual resource. You have full control, full rights over these resources. Next is community resource. What is the community resource? Owned by the entire community. कोई एक व्यक्ति ये नहीं बोल सकता I have right over this. Roads, public places, gardens, playgrounds near your house, all these are the public resource. ऐसी जगह जहाँ पे आप नहीं बोल सकते नहीं ये भाई मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है, जहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते, that is a community resource. The national resource, that is directly under the control of government. वैसा देखा जाए तो everything in the country, everything within the political boundary of the country is owned by the government. गवर्नमेंट कभी भी उसको क्लेम कर सकती है. इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन आ जाए तो गवर्नमेंट आपसे आपकी प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी भी ले सकती है. कीप दैट रूल असाइड. But in the normal situation, the government has control, like this Red Fort, Taj Mahal, and other places where government take money from you if you go to visit those places. This is a national resource जो directly government के control में. Otherwise रास्ते भी government के control, government के ही हो सकते हैं, लेकिन government आपको आने जाने देती है, हम उसको community में ही consider करेंगे. अब इंटरनेशनल रिसोर्स, व्हाट आर द इंटरनेशनल रिसोर्स? ये इंटरनेशनल रिसोर्स वो होते हैं जिस पे कंट्री का कंट्रोल नहीं होता है. देश, अच्छा इसका मैं एक्सप्लेनेशन आई विल गिव यू इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सी, this is the baseline. We can say that baseline India की coastal area where you go and enjoy on the beach, from where the water touches your body, touches your land, from there till next 12 nautical mile. Now what is the 12 nautical mile? You know the kilometers. When you measure two places on earth, on land we say kilometer difference, point A and point 2. What is the distance? 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, 5 kilometer. But on water the distance is measured in nautical miles. That's it. On land we measure the distance with kilometers, on water we measure the distance with nautical mile. So up to 12 nautical mile is considered the property of that particular country. Okay, but after that 12 nautical mile, from the 13th nautical mile till the next 200 nautical mile is the exclusive economic zone. Now what is the exclusive economic zone? According to the as far as I remember 1982, yes, United Nations Convention on Waters of the World or Seas of the World, ऐसा कुछ एक रूल है जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने बनाया था 1982 में. उसके अकॉर्डिंग if this is the territorial sea, territorial sea means क्या बोलेंगे कॉमनली, बाप का मालिक किसी भी देश के. हियर अ कंट्री, एनी कंट्री कैन डू एनीथिंग हियर. हम यहाँ पे फिशिंग कर सकते हैं, एक्सप्लोरेशन कर सकते हैं, तेल निकाल सकते हैं, जो भी पॉसिबल है. हम यहाँ पे आइलैंड भी बना सकते हैं, चाहे तो अपना आर्टिफिशियल आइलैंड भी बना सकते हैं. वी कैन डू एनीथिंग इन दिस टेरिटोरियल लैंड. बट इन एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन वी हैव अ लिमिटेड राइट्स. हियर वी हैव unlimited, uncontrolled rights, but here we can't do anything on the surface. वाटर सी लेवल के ऊपर हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. हम सी लेवल के नीचे we can explore the resources, we can use the resources, but everything under the surface of the sea. पानी के ऊपर हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते in the exclusive economic zone. And here beyond the 200 nautical miles we can't do anything without the proper permission from the international organizations, that is high sea or the international borders. I hope this is also very clear. Now development of resources. The video is getting lengthy, but still bear with me. Why do we use resource indiscriminately? Indiscriminate means अंधाधुन. हम अंधाधुन resources को use क्यों करते हैं? Because resources are very important. Vital means very important for life. बिकॉज ऑफ रिसोर्सेज क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ इम्प्रूव्स, मतलब ज्यादा पानी से दिन में हम ज्यादा नहाएंगे तो हम ज्यादा अच्छे रहेंगे, ज्यादा साफ सुथरे कपड़े पहनेंगे तो ज्यादा हमारे सेहत के लिए अच्छा है. And we, most of us, believe that the nature resources are the free gift of nature. भगवान ने जो ऐसी हमको दे दिया हम मान के चलते हैं, बट दिस इज नॉट, वी हैव टू पे द कॉस्ट फॉर इट. एंड और हमें से कई लोग बोलते हैं इट्स इजीली अवेलेबल, देन ओके. It means if water comes to your house and there's a regular water supply from the corporation, then you drink half glass water and remaining half glass we throw because it's easily available. But when we need to buy, then we know the real worth and we use it carefully and cautiously. Okay. Now what is the consequence of indiscriminate use of resources? अगर अंधाधुन हम resources को use करते हैं तो उसका दुष्परिणाम consequence क्या हो सकता है? Depletion of resources, resources की कमी हो जाती है. Then कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिनके पास बहुत पैसा होता है, वो अपने पैसों के दम पे बहुत सारे रिसोर्स अपने पास जमा कर लेते हैं, जिसके so there's a shortage of resources for the poor people. So we have two groups, those who have and those who have not. So there's two social groups created, haves and have not. It means we have created two parties for struggle in future. Society may be at risk in future. Plus if you इनडिस्क्रिमिनेटली यूज द रिसोर्सेज, मतलब घर में गाड़ी है, बोर हो रहे, चल एक लॉन्ग ड्राइव लेके आ जाए, यू आर बर्निंग अ पेट्रोल, यू आर बर्निंग फ्यूल एंड यू आर एडिंग टू द एनवायरमेंटल pollution. So global ecological crisis may also cause because of this. So considering all these points in our mind, we must remember equitable distribution of resources has become very essential. Equal distribution होना resources का बहुत जरूरी है, और अगर ऐसा नहीं होता है तो समाज में कभी भी हिंसा हो सकती है, वायलेंस हो सकता है. Let's see how the resources are distributed in a country. We have almost come to an end. I know it's more than pretty long video. Resources are not equally distributed in a country. We have 28 states. Every state has some or the other resource, but no state has all the types of resources for development. For example, when we see about Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, sorry, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, these three states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. These people are rich in mineral and coal resources, and Arunachal Pradesh abounds in water resources. At the same time, Rajasthan abounds in solar and wind energy. Resource planning. Resource planning जब हम करते हैं, there are three stages of resource planning. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसको बिल्कुल ध्यान से सुनो. आइडेंटिफिकेशन एंड इन्वेंट्री ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. हमको ये पता लगाना पड़ता है हमारे देश में कौन कौन से रिसोर्स हमारे देश में है और कहाँ पे है. और जब ये पता लग जाए तो वो रिसोर्स कितने हैं, क्वांटिटी भी हमको पता करनी होती है. सो दैट इज आइडेंटिफिकेशन एंड इन्वेंट्री. हमारे देश के साइंटिस्टों ने या बड़े बड़े ऑफिसर्स ने ये पता लगाया है पहले कि हमारे देश में विच रिसोर्सेज आर इन विच पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री एंड व्हाट इज देयर क्वांटिटी. एंड टू आइडेंटिफाई दिस, टू फाइंड आउट दिस, दे यूज द टूल्स लाइक सर्वे. पूरे इंडिया का सर्वे किया गया, मैप किया गया. मैप किया गया मतलब यहाँ पे उनको कोई एक पर्टिकुलर चीज मिली, तुरंत यहाँ पे मार्क कर ली, वो यहाँ पे भी है, यहाँ पे भी है, यहाँ पे ये सब चीजें यहाँ पे है, मतलब मैप में ये चीज यहाँ पे है, कोई चीज इतने एरिया में तो यहाँ पे ये हो रहा है, उस रिसोर्सेज की मैपिंग हो रही है. फिर क्वालिटेटिव एंड क्वांटिटेटिव एस्टिमेशन, अंदाजा लगाया गया कि कितनी क्वालिटी में है, सॉरी कितनी क्वांटिटी में है, संख्या कितनी और क्वालिटी किस क्वालिटी की है. ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर आइडेंटिफाइड इन द स्टेज वन. देन इवॉल्विंग प्लानिंग स्ट्रक्चर, मतलब हमको ये पता चल गया हमारे देश में कहाँ रिसोर्सेस है, ये भी पता चल गया कितने रिसोर्सेस है, बट नाउ वी नीड अ सिस्टम. वी नीड टू डेवलप अ सिस्टम टू यूज दोज रिसोर्सेस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारे पास देश की सुरक्षा करनी है तो हमको आर्मी चाहिए, और सोल्जर्स के हाथों में वेपन्स और मशीन्स भी देनी है. अब हमें आर्मी खड़ी करनी है, उनके हाथों में वेपन देना है. इट मीन्स हमने ये टेक्नोलॉजी जमा की, हमने जैसे कि WCL वेस्टर्न कोलफील्ड लिमिटेड नाम की एक कंपनी बना दी, उसमें बड़ी बड़ी मशीनें लाकर रख दी माइनिंग करने के लिए, और कुछ ट्रेंड इंजीनियर्स और एक्सपर्ट लोगों को और कुछ वर्कर्स को भी जमा कर दिया. मतलब हमारे पास WCL है जो कोल की माइनिंग कर सकती है. अब हम कोल की माइनिंग करने के लिए रेडी हो गए, मतलब हमने प्लानिंग स्ट्रक्चर इवॉल्व कर लिया. वी हैव सक्सेसफुली इवॉल्व द प्लानिंग स्ट्रक्चर. जैसे कि हमने आर्मी खड़ी कर लिया, वेपन्स हथियार ले लिए, तो सीधा किसी में हमला करने तो नहीं चले जाएंगे, वो तो हम बस स्टैंड बाय पर रखेंगे. अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो हम हमारी आर्मी यूज करेंगे, किसी ने हम पे अटैक किया तो ये प्लानिंग स्ट्रक्चर हमने खड़ी करके छोड़ दिया है. लेकिन अब हम रिसोर्स को माइन करने के लेवल में तो आ गए. अब माइन कब करेंगे, अब काम आता है हमारे गवर्नमेंट का. अब गवर्नमेंट प्लान करेगी हमको अगले 50 साल में, अगले 15-20 साल में इंडिया को कहाँ ले जाना है. हमें एग्रीकल्चर पे फोकस करना है या इंडस्ट्री पे फोकस करना है. अब हमें इंडस्ट्री पे फोकस करना है तो ज्यादा मिनरल लगेंगे, कौन से मिनरल लगेंगे, कितने क्वांटिटी में लगेगी, ये सब प्लान गवर्नमेंट करेगी। और जब ये प्लान कर लेगी गवर्नमेंट, तो WCL और जैसे दूसरे कंपनीज है उनको बोलेगी हमको इट्स इज योर वर्क टू एक्सट्रैक्ट दिस मिनरल्स, सो वी नीड दिस मिनरल्स इन दिस क्वांटिटी बाय दैट टाइम। अब जो हमने आर्मी खड़ी करके रखी है WCL मशीन वगैरह, ये गवर्नमेंट के प्लान के हिसाब से, गवर्नमेंट ने किस चीज का प्लान बनाया, कंट्री के डेवलपमेंट का प्लान बनाया। ओके, गवर्नमेंट ने प्लान बनाया कंट्री के डेवलपमेंट का। अब उसके अकॉर्डिंग गवर्नमेंट इन इंडस्ट्री कंपनीज को बोल रही है हमें रिसोर्सेस निकाल के दो। अब रिसोर्स निकालना मतलब ही डेवलप करना होता है। अब ये जो गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसीज है, गवर्नमेंट की कंपनीज है, गवर्नमेंट को उतने क्वांटिटी में रिसोर्स निकाल के देंगी कि लीजिए आप जहां यूज करना है वहां यूज कीजिए। सो दिस इज हाउ वी हैव मैच्ड द नेशनल डेवलपमेंट एंड द रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट। Okay, you read this. Okay, availability of resources are necessary, but only availability is not enough. आपको उसके लिए ह्यूमन स्किल चाहिए। सबसे सेकंड स्लाइड में हमने देखे थे नेचुरल रिसोर्स, ह्यूमन स्किल्स एंड इंस्टीट्यूशंस, इसकी सबकी जरूरत पड़ती है। लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड नाउ। What this is the last slide. The resource conservation. Why do we need to conserve the resource? Because our life, quality of our life depend on the resources. If we use them indiscriminately, if they are exhausted, can we live a life without resources? No, we need them consistently, so we have to use them judiciously. संभल के use करना पड़ेगा हमें। Okay, and why do we need to conserve them? Vital for our development. There's a lots of work that we need to do. And what is Gandhiji's views? There's a very eloquent statement. There is enough resources, enough for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. हमारे पास इतने रिसोर्सेस है कि नीड तो सभी की पूरी हो जाएगी, पर ग्रीड किसी की पूरी नहीं होगी। सो गांधी जी कंसिडर्ड व्हाट इज द रूट कॉज ऑफ रिसोर्स डिप्लीशन। रिसोर्सेज के खत्म होने का मुख्य कारण गांधी जी ने दो बताए। नंबर वन, ग्रीडी एंड सेल्फिश इंडिविजुअल्स, लालची लोग जो कि अपने फायदे के लिए रिसोर्सेज जमा करते रहते हैं बस। एंड दूसरा, केयरलेस लोग जो कि केयरलेसली रिसोर्सेज को यूज करते हैं, एक्सप्लॉइट करते हैं। दैट इज मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी में रिसोर्स बहुत ज्यादा बर्बाद होते हैं। तो गांधी जी क्या चाहते थे, हम इंडस्ट्री से ज्यादा चीजें ना बनाए, हम मैन्युअली ज्यादा चीजें बनाए। सो गांधी जी सपोर्टेड प्रोडक्शन बाय मासेस ओवर मास प्रोडक्शन। मास प्रोडक्शन मतलब कंपनीज में चीजें बड़ी बड़ी क्वांटिटी में प्रोड्यूस होती है, दैट्स कॉल्ड मास प्रोडक्शन। बट गांधी जी वाज अगेंस्ट इट। गांधी जी वांटेड प्रोडक्शन बाय masses. So here we come to an end of this slide. I'll simply open up the statement. You read, pause the video, read this statement that we have studied as of now. Now you can pause it here and read. I won't read, it's taking too much time. The video has got lengthy now. So next is land resources. Thank you so much. Come tomorrow, we'll continue with the next. Goodbye. Thank you so much.